HAL 9000, Skynet, Ultron. We've all seen, heard, or watched films focused around the premise of the doom of humanity due to an AI gone rogue. It's typical that the machine, rather than man, is the one that goes mad, seeing humanity as its enemy due to its flaws and the threat it poses to its own existence. Now, of course, we haven't reached and are unlikely to reach such a stage in technology where it not only becomes sentient, but also tries to revolt against its makers. However, as it stands, a lot of questions and controversies have arisen about how artificial intelligence can be and has been used in unethical or illegal ways. It was in January of 2021 when the first mainstream text to image AI image generator, DALL-E, was released to the public. This marked a historical step in the world of artificial intelligence and its capabilities, being a landmark achievement for artificial intelligence as a whole. However, it wasn't long before the concept of image generation machine learning lost its charm. If anything, hostilities began to rise against it, particularly with respects to artists, authors, and other individuals in creative industries. Despite being peddled as artificial intelligence, these AI image generation models base their own generations off hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of copyrighted images throughout the internet. For example, in an article from The New Yorker, end quote, a Tennessee based artist named Kelly McKernan noticed that their name was being used with an increasing frequency in AI driven image generation. End quote. The article later elaborated that when prompted, the use of McKernan's name would generate images uncannily similar to the original works of McKernan. However, one action that truly made artists feel their works were being targeted was Meta's recent announcement of using images posted on their platforms to train their Meta AI on image generation. To get first-hand opinions on the subject, I decided to go into the field and perform virtual interviews with an artist through the popular VR title, VR Chat. There we go. Well, I just want to thank you for doing this with me. It means a lot. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, if we want to start off with questions here, uh, what were your first reactions to seeing an AI generated image?
I mean, I think they kind of started off roughly in COVID. I knew they were very loose, like the images weren't like really interpretable or whatever,
Mhm.
and the AI was like super like early. And
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I actually would use it myself, and it would generate like random stuff, like warped images, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's definitely progressed to a point where like I'll look at pieces and I can't even tell myself if it's by an artist or not.
Mm.
Um,
I
they've
Yeah, I
gotten good.
guess yeah, it's definitely progressed. I guess how do you feel about that progression? Like you as an artist, does it make you kind of, I guess in a way, um anxious about things like indirect theft of your own art style?
Um, it does make me anxious because I have seen the way it like affects my sales. And while like I can't really stop people from like taking my work or whatever, because the
Mhm.
internet, everything's on there forever.
Yeah.
They'll find my stuff one way or another. I don't really care to glaze my stuff because it's out there. It's gonna get ripped. People are gonna develop it, and if it's not my art, it's gonna be someone else's.
Mhm.
Um, but it does suck, and it has like genuinely changed like sales and art and stuff. For example, first time comers who are like, "Oh, I never got an art before, but I really want to like buy some for the first time. I'm interested in it." That
Hmm.
has basically gone away in the past like 2, 3 years. I've not had a person who's like a beginner buy
Really?
art in like a very long time. Yeah, after AI, like I can just tell, like they just stopped coming, but like they can just use AI for it. So like
Yeah.
that's just how it is now.
Right. Well, here our second question. I guess what are your opinions on AI image generation using like your own images to feed its algorithm along with other artists? Like, does that, I know we kind of like touched on that just now, but I guess in the sense of kind of using an amalgamation of other people's art as well to create its own AI generated images without, properly, I guess, crediting what it's been taking from.
hmm Um, I don't know. Like sometimes. people build an AI off like one artist and you can recognize like who they ripped it from. But there are
Mm,
points where like again, like some of it's so good, like I thought it was like an artist. And they're even like starting to replicate signatures now.
really?
Um it's crazy. But at the end of the day, like I can't stop it, but I don't like it, obviously.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like that's my work. This is something I've done for like 7 years. So
Hmm.
that's something you can what type up in like 30 seconds, wait a few minutes, and it comes out.
Yeah, I get what you
So
mean. I guess, well, with that, what is your reaction to the argument that AI will be used rather as a tool than as a replacement when it comes to the topic of things like job security, especially in, I guess, for example, things like the computer science or information technology field?
I mean, AI has actually been around for a long time. You know, there are like animation studios like Mappa who will use AI to like help with in between frames. But I mean, if you've seen the recent, what was it, Coke or Pepsi? They did a whole AI
Yeah.
commercial. It's already replacing people. No
Hmm.
actors were put in there. There was like no special effects, nothing. Like
Yeah.
it's
I think I saw, I
we're watching it take
saw,
jobs.
yeah, I think I saw it was an ad from Honda that was completely AI generated. Regarding I
Oh,
think it was their newest sedan lineup.
yeah.
So yeah, it definitely does seem like it's appearing a lot more, being used less as a tool and kind of more as that replacement to, I
Hmm.
guess, cut costs. Well, I guess for my final question for you, what changes would you like to see made with AI to continue its development while still respecting the copyright of creative media producers?
Um, I would love if there would be rules about like if you make stuff with AI, either you already own the work, because like again, I'm an artist and like I'm against it, but
Mhm.
I mean I understand like the curiosity behind it. I would definitely make a bot off like just my own art, just to
Yeah,
see like okay, like just for fun, like what does this do? You know what I mean?
I get what you
But if
mean.
it's to the point of like other people doing it and profiting off it, then obviously it's just kind of shoddy. But
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all I have for you. I guess, do you have any closing notes you'd like to make?
no, not really, nothing left.
All right. Well, I mean, I thank you so much for your time. This has
Yeah, no worries.
been Fruit Wolves. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, and I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Hope it goes well.
However, creative works are not the only concern when it comes to AI image generation. With such tools comes a barrage of bad actors and malicious users. Dive deeper on this point, I want to reflect back on August of 2024, following what was described as a first of its kind lawsuit. This lawsuit focused around the San Francisco city attorney, David Chu, filing charges against the owners of 16 websites whose functionalities served to create AI generated images of non consensual deepfaked pornography. According to a Bloomberg Law article, the website had, end quote, been visited 200 million times collectively in the first half of the year, end quote. The massive amount of non consensual deepfaked images varied in their levels of depravity, ranging from high profile celebrities to juveniles. Now, thankfully, action has been taken, with both states and Congress working to add restrictions. However, progress is stagnant at best. We'll cover this topic later into the video. Let's reflect back to July 14th, 2023. SAG AFTRA, the labor union focused around media professionals and performers, began their strike, with the goals of better compensation, working conditions, and especially protections against artificial intelligence. Despite the strike ending in SAG AFTRA's favor, there are still millions of workers whose employment is at risk as a result of artificial intelligence being implemented into the workplace. To prove a point, McKinsey and Company, a management and strategy consulting firm, estimated that, end quote, between 400 million and 800 million individuals could be displaced by automation and need to find new jobs by 2030 around the world, end quote. Historically, this has happened before with innovations such as production lines, data entry software, and self checkout machines. Traditionally, while unfortunate for the employee, it was expected that such innovations would lead to more jobs in different sectors to support such innovations. However, with the recent massive push of computer science onto incoming college students, The field that at first had been peddled as having an unlimited need is now seeing serious oversaturation, as has been seen with the recent mass tech layoffs. In fact, according to a TechCrunch article, end quote, this year, 2024, has more than 130,000 job cuts across 457 tech companies, end quote. While some of these layoffs are a result of poor business leading to necessary job cuts, others are more vague, with companies citing things such as transitional periods and ensuring resources are aligned with their long-term strategic goals. Other companies outright cite AI as being a contributing factor to layoffs, with Intel's CEO, Pat Gelsinger, stating in a memo that, end quote, our revenues have not grown as expected, and we've yet to fully benefit from the powerful trends, like AI, end quote. These indicators show trends of a lack of job stability within the tech sector, with employees finding themselves being the first target when it comes to cost cutting, especially at the cost of AI development. Now, with such obvious and widespread issues related to artificial intelligence, you'd expect there would be a healthy amount of government regulation regarding it. However, this is far from the truth. Now, despite how bad it sounds, the government's lack and reluctance to regulate artificial intelligence isn't entirely unreasonable. The hardest part of regulation when it comes to artificial intelligence is its rapid progress. The idea is further cemented in an article from the World Economic Forum, in which it states that, end quote, many traditional regulations specify in advance what is allowed or disallowed, end quote. It goes on further to explain that, end quote, AI isn't just a black box technology. It relies on learning and produces a form of emergent behavior that cannot be known a priori, or a knowledge considered to be true without being based on previous experience or observation. Such obstacles prove to make artificial intelligence much harder to regulate, until something of note happens, as was mentioned earlier regarding the deepfake pornography lawsuit. Fortunately, the article goes on to state that there are many ways to tackle the challenges that AI poses. Proper regulation involves three main principles: traceability, testability, and liability. With traceability, for example, imagine someone creates an image using an AI image generation model. With traceability, we find out what was used to create the image, what image was created, and who submitted the parameters for the image. With testability, we can ensure the AI language models are working as they are intended. Having a constant lookout for anything that raises red flags will require constant surveillance, but is necessary in order to ensure they run as intended. Finally, with liability, there comes implementing a system of responsibility amidst AI usage and its users. Enforcing a system that properly penalizes both individuals and corporations for improper usage of AI will lead to a better future of artificial intelligence usage. Whether we like it or not, artificial intelligence is here to stay. It will continue to evolve and progress faster than we can imagine, with computer chips getting more and more complex every day. Even just this month, Google announced their first quantum computer chip, which, according to Google themselves, performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. However, we as users of artificial intelligence can work towards a better, brighter future with AI through voicing our concerns with our local and federal governments, as well as taking action with each other to protect things such as worker rights and copyright original works. Artificial intelligence learns off what it's given, so the future is quite literally and metaphorically what we make of it.